Hey y'all, this is Lolita. Listen, I want to share something with you. I thought that this would help some of you out there. I've been reading a book. It's called The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers, and it is by Hal Elrod. Let me just make sure I've got his name right. I've got him pulled up on a separate screen over here, so you might see me looking over here to see the name. Yes, his name is Hal Elrod, and it's called The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. Within this book, I came across, and I do audibles, just so you know. I can do 5 to 10 books a month, but I do audiobooks. But this time I decided this book was so good I need to buy the hard copy version, and I went to Amazon and brought the hard copy version. But anyway, the Miracle Morning has something in it called a wealth formula. And before we get into this, I want to say that I am very religious. Some of you know my religion. I won't get into that now, but I do give the thanks and the glory to Jehovah for every gift that I bring to the table. And I do use his Bible principles to keep the right perspective when it comes to money. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of practical wisdom about money in the Bible. It really is. And one of the scriptures that I'm just going to read to you, and this is not a sermon, I promise you, but Ecclesiastes 7:12 says, for wisdom is a protection, just as money is a protection. But the advantage of knowledge is this, that wisdom preserves the life of its owner. So, money is just for a protection. We use it to take care of our families. We need it to buy food, clothing, but it has its place. The wisdom and knowledge of God is what's going to save your life. So, I just want to make sure I get that out the way. But anyway, I want to go to something called a wealth formula, and I'll try to be very brief. I thought this was very interesting. In the book, The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers, there is an interview. Hal interviewed a lady named Cindy Samelson. And in her interview, she mentions the wealth formula. She is a lady that's in business for herself, and she simply started out like this. She said, how many hours is there in a week? And if you add up, ask yourself, how many hours is there in a week? If you add it up, 24 hours times seven, 7 days a week, that comes out to, somebody do the math for me, 168 hours per week. She says, we're all equal in the eyes of God. She said in these two aspects. We're all equal in the eyes of God. And the second aspect is we're all equal in the amount of time that we have. All of us have 168 hours a week in which we figure out what we need to do with our time. So she broke it down like this. She says, now, if you sleep 8 hours a day, and some of you do, some of you don't. I'm trying to work on that. She's giving you 8 hours a week, a day for sleep. So if you do the math, if you do 8 hours a day times 7 days a week, that adds up to 56 hours a week for sleep. Then she says, well, you got to work. So most of us work a 40-hour work week. So if you're working 40 hours a week, you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Okay. So I'm going to backtrack. You got 56 hours for sleep, because we're talking about 8 hours, 8 hours of sleep. And then you work a 40-hour work week, because you're working 8 hours a day, and that's usually 5 days a week. So that's why it's 40 hours. Okay. Also, she says, well, let's throw in some fun and recreation. So she's saying, allow yourself at least 6 hours a day times, 7 days a week for recreation, and that adds up to 42 hours a day. I hope I'm doing this math right, because I'm really doing it off the top of my head. So just to recap, we have 168 hours in a week. Okay. If you sleep 8 hours a day times 7 days a week, that's going to give you 56 hours of sleep. If you work a 5-day work week at 8 hours a day, that's going to give you a 40-hour work week. If you throw in play and recreation for 6 hours every day, times 7 days a week, that's going to give you 42 hours a week to do your recreation. Now, some of us are in our ministry. I haven't added the ministry, but you can add your ministry time in there. Some of you want to do 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week. Add your ministry time in there. So I did not add ministry time, because everyone we're talking to does not go out in the ministry. I personally make an effort to go out there, but we're just going to focus on your sleep, your work, and play. So based on those hours that I gave you, 56 hours for sleep, 40 hours for work, 42 for play. That adds up to 138 hours a week. So if you take the 168 hours, we said we have 168 hours a week. That's 24 hours a day times, 7 days a week. We have 168 hours a week. And you subtract this 138 hours, then that 138 hours came from me adding up the sleep, work, and the play that we just did. Then you've got 30 hours left over in a week to do what you want to do. Now, if you're trying to build a business, what are you going to do with that 38 hours? People say, I don't have time to build a business. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. You may want to look at what you're doing with your day. Are you spending a lot of time watching TV? Or you get distracted on social media? Lord knows I can get distracted on Facebook. Don't let me go to Messenger. They got ads now for dresses. I'm trying to message someone and I see something. Ooh, look at that dress. And I'm ordering dresses from China. It's taking me 2 and 3 months to get here. So you can get distracted is the point. And the other thing is the internet. Are you getting too bogged down for internet? So the thing about the Miracle Morning is if you want to change in your life, you need to change the things that you're doing. So they're suggesting that you get up a little bit earlier. They're suggesting that you plan your day before your day starts. They're suggesting that you make sure that you know where your time is spent. If you know where your time is spent, then you will understand where you're wasting time. And this is why you feel like you don't have enough time. I know I'm guilty of that, and I just thought I would share that with you. There's another thing they said, the golden hour. They said wake up an hour earlier if you can, or go to sleep an hour later. If you're waking up an hour earlier, making sure that you're doing these couple of things. They say, of course, you want to give gratitude and pray. Pray, give gratitude. You want to meditate. You want to make sure you do affirmations to affirm your day. And you want to do some exercise. I didn't realize that people that do exercise in the morning, it helps them to think better. It helps with brain function. So I am attempting to try to be consistent with my exercise. Basically, that's all I wanted to share with you all, is that the wealth formula here is what you're doing with your time. And that 30 hours that you have left over, that's where you want to do your daily disciplines. If you own a business, this is where you want to do this. 5 daily disciplines, and I'm going to end with that. You want to make 5 phone calls a day. You may want to be calling new people to introduce them to your business, or you may be wanting to call your customers to update them on new products that you have. You want to make sure you meet 2 new people a day. You want to make sure you follow up with every person, and you want to make sure that you're journaling every day. So anyway, there's a community online called the Miracle Morning. You can join that community. It is very good. There are some resources out there that may be helpful to you, but I know that I'm trying to build my business because I want a little bit more time freedom for myself and my husband and my family. And I just thought that, this wealth formula, where she breaks down our time, may help some of you. I know it helped me. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Y'all have a great day, and make sure that you're striving to be the best financial version of yourself as you can be. All right, see ya.